So guys, we are here in downtown central Hong Kong, and I'm gonna tell you the reason that I came here, and also probably the reason that it feels so good for me to just be here and walk around between all these big buildings. So about a month ago I came across this YouTuber called Cyrus Jansen. I'll probably link him down here below for you guys to watch, and he made a video about China, and it kind of made me fall in love with their country, their culture, technological advancements that come from there. And right away after seeing some of his videos, some other videos, and I started doing some research, I was like, you know what, I would love to live or spend a lot of time in China. And for that reason I also started taking a class in Mandarin, which by the way it's completely useless here because people speak Cantonese, which is much harder. Anyway, and then I wanted to book a trip to China. I tried everything, getting a business visa and everything, but it's right now completely impossible to get an invitation from a company and to find a sponsor. It's completely 100% impossible for me anyway, because I never went there before. If you went there before, it should be pretty easy. And so I checked which other places I could go to, and I found out about Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Macau as well. Then the one that directly grasped my attention was Hong Kong. I never thought of going here before, but with my newly gained knowledge and wow, this is noisy. My newly acquainted knowledge of China and their culture and how everything worked, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna book my flight to Hong Kong. When I was still in Pakistan, when I booked my flight to India, I was like, fuck, I don't want to stay in a country like Pakistan again, because even though it's beautiful and nice, it's not as clean, like not as hygienic, I would say. It's very smoggy, very polluted, the air, and it didn't make me feel good. So for that reason I decided to book a flight to Hong Kong, and here we are. When I booked it, there were still some pretty drastic COVID things going on, the severe respiratory disease that we spoke about before. And one day before I came here, actually they lifted most of these restrictions. So before, you could not go out to restaurants and bars and places where you should take off your mask the first 3 days of your arrival. So I booked 10 days here, which usually people just do 3 days. But with my work, I thought, you know, a week should be enough. So 10 minus 3. Anyway, now they lifted all these restrictions and we can go out whenever we want. I just have 10 days in this beautiful city. And I think we can compare it to something like Dubai, with all these big buildings, a lot of rich people that really put you back on the ground, you know, like when you're in India with or in Colombia or in Bali or wherever with a very small salary, you can still act like you're rich. Well, here, even if you have decent money, even if you're considered rich in Bali, you're probably one of the poorest. You're one of the bottom 1% of Hong Kong. And I think that's beautiful, because that's what we need, you know. That brings us out of our comfort zone and puts us on our feet, right where we belong. Because you're not there where your goals are until you, I think, when you can afford like a nice penthouse in Hong Kong. I think that's pretty much very good high score in your life if you are able to do that. But still, after being here for like a week, the first days I thought this city is insanely expensive. I thought all these people must be rich. Where I paid 10 euros for a beer the first days, at least 10 euros. For a cocktail, maybe 20 euros. And for food, I mean, that would go for about 20 euros as well. Like ordering a pizza in my hotel was so expensive, like $25 for a pizza. But now, after being here for a few days, I found out that actually it's very possible to live here on another salary scale and still go out for dinner every day, and that's eating local food. So the fun thing about Hong Kong is that you really have both. You can have both cultures. both types of food. You can have very Western types of food, but you can also go extremely local and you know, eat rice, fried rice, noodles with chicken or roasted goose. You can have all those things, and for those things you will pay much less. And if you go to the local restaurants, and I'm going to show you some examples as we walk around so you guys can see the difference in the vibe and everything. It really makes a big difference on your wallet. So you have these like hipster cafes where you are going to pay a little bit more. Restaurants like this, still nothing fancy, but probably still a bit cheaper than the average of what I had my first days. You can have both, and also if you go to these cheaper restaurants and cheaper bars and you look around on the street, so basically every bar, even coffee shops, have a happy hour. And if you come in happy hour, you will very quickly save up like half your money. Instead of paying $10 for a beer, maybe you'll just pay $4. And you know, that makes a huge difference. Also in terms of food, you can, like, if you go to specific restaurants, they have like a set deal for lunch or a set meal for dinner. And if you go for these options, you will, instead of paying $20 for your food, you will pay maybe $5, and you'll have like a 3-course meal for $5, or for dinner, like a 3-course dinner for, you can get it for like $10. So basically, if you do it well and you go out eating fancy or Western food, you know, not every day of the week, maybe 3 times a week or something, that's still a lot, you know, for Western standards. Going out for dinner 3 times a week, it's pretty much. You can actually save up a lot of money, and you can actually live here and go out for drinks and go on dates, even pay for your dates as a guy, of course, without breaking the bank. You can do it, I think, like on a 50 euros. You could do it. I would definitely recommend more. Like on one of my nights out, it was not that I'm trying to brag about it, I'm just telling you how expensive it can be. One of my nights out, and it wasn't a crazy night out, I think I told we had like 10 drinks, a pizza, and maybe 1 or 2 cocktails, and it was 300 euros. And it was not in the fanciest places. It were some very fancy places, but not even the fanciest, which averages out to about 9 euros per consumption, whatever it was, food or drinks. And I think that's am I right? I'm saying it right? No, I'm saying it right. Like about 25 euros per consumption, which definitely is quite a lot. But if you look well, and even in like apartments and stuff, you can get a nice private apartment for long term for about 15,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 1,800 euros a month. And then, you know, if you live like the budget I just said, $50 a day, yeah, you could probably live here with just 3,300 euros a month. And I think because we just compared this to Dubai, and if we compare this a little bit more, because I know a lot of people, especially Europeans, they decided to move to Dubai, which is a beautiful place, of course. The only thing I think you will miss there is culture. Well, here you get a lot of culture and a lot of cultural foods, and I don't know, you get to discover a completely new population, you know, like sorry, you get to discover a new how do you call that stuff, new kind of people, whatever. You get to discover Chinese culture, and yeah, with that comes a lot of other things. You get to hear a new language every day, instead of a country where you hear mostly English because there's only expats. Well, here it's a city of 7.5 million people with a huge history, a huge history. Like, they have been an English colony for, I think, over 150 years. That's a long time, guys. And they only recently separated from them in 1997. That's when they became a special administrative region of China, which is a pretty cool thing as well. So they don't live under the same regime as China. They have actually their own politicians, their own parliament and everything. It's a democracy, I believe. And let me just wait until we cross. They have their own parliament, their own democracy, which they fought for. They fought for really hard. And I think that means a lot to the people here as well. If you ask around, people are very proud of that fact. Next to that, you get to see, because they were a British colony, you get to see all this. Look at this. Double-deckers everywhere. Double-decker buses. Double-decker trams. Even double-decker boats. Ferries to the other side of the island, which we'll take probably on the next vlog. This one I just wanted to tell you guys about how I feel about being here. And then another thing that I found really important here is that because you have so many different cultures mixed, and a lot of the Western bias we get about China and Hong Kong and countries around here is that it's not clean, and these people have some sick beliefs of, you know, eating dogs and cats, but it's just not the case. I mean, I'm sure there is someone here who likes to eat a dog or a cat, but I haven't seen it on the streets, guys. This does not exist as far as I've seen. Next to that, it's super clean. If you look on the streets, there's no trash at all. Not even a single cigarette. Which is another fun fact, is that Hong Kong is the city with one of the longest living populations, like the highest life expectancy on the world, I believe. I think it's the highest. And you can see that, like, people young and old, everybody walks around. Almost nobody drives a car. Look on the streets, like, it's a 7.5 million people city. One of the highest, if not the highest, densely populated cities in the world. And look on the streets, guys. This is the central area of Hong Kong. Just wait for the police to pass so I don't have to film them. Look, guys, there's no cars at all. There's a few taxis, of course, a few cars, and that's it. And if you see a car, 9 out of 10 times, no, 5 out of 10 times, it's a hell of an expensive car. People driving brand new Teslas, brand new Ferraris, Lamborghinis. And in Hong Kong, on average, more people drive a Rolls Royce than anywhere else in the world. There's more Rolls Royces per person in Hong Kong than anywhere else in the world. It's funny because it's not even a Hong Kongese car or something. It is very much, I think, I'm not sure where that car comes from, but whatever. It's definitely not a car from this country, because actually nothing here is produced here. And in terms of riches, like what I said before, let me just show you some of the brands that we see around here. Armani, Louis Vuitton. Then there we have Yves Saint Laurent. How do you say that? Dolce & Gabbana. This is pretty much the most expensive stores on earth. And they are here everywhere in the city. Like, where in the Netherlands you have to drive hours and hours to find a Louis V shop or a Dior shop. Here, at least in the central area, you probably have to walk 5 or 10 minutes to the nearest one, and from that one it's probably 10 minutes to the next one, which I think it's pretty fucking incredible. Here we go, guys. You see the shops? Everywhere, guys. And that's not even it, because it continues. It just continues, guys. It just continues. I want to say these are shops that I will, even if I would have the money to pay for that shit, I'd probably never walk in. Maybe to get a handbag for any of you who applied to become my wife, but as long as that doesn't happen, I'm not gonna go into these shops getting handbags, because first I don't like the stuff, and secondly it's just way overpriced. Anyway guys, so oh, here's some more. Look at that. It's just beautiful to see, isn't it? Another really positive side I would say of Hong Kong is that if you look on the streets, people are dressed so well. Not necessarily suit and tie, everyone, but people just dress well. Like, they're dressed very fashionable, you know. Of course there's always people that don't, but in general I would say, in terms of how people are dressed up here, I don't know, beats any city I've seen in my life. And these high buildings, these high skyscrapers, these high bars, the fancy bars, and all the records that are broken here in this city, it makes sense. So to tell you some more of the records, it's not Dubai, but this is actually the city with the highest bar in the world, above 200 meters high, where you can have a beer. You're not even that expensive. You can have a beer for like $8 and enjoy the view of Hong Kong, like the most beautiful view. That's one of the records. Next to that is the city with the highest amount of skyscrapers in the world. So again, that's not Dubai, it's actually Hong Kong. It is a city with the 7th city in the world in terms of most billionaires. I think there's 96 billionaires, guys, not millionaires, billionaires. And if you look around and check the prices of everything, there are so much more millionaires here. It's insane. And it's normal because everything is so expensive here. And if you wanna, like I said, this really puts you back on the ground. If you were proud of who you were and thought you made it in life, this city is gonna make you reevaluate that, because you're probably nowhere compared to the people here. Let's see if we can go here. Yes, we can. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's enough for my story about why I'm here and what I love about the city. That was, I think, the story I wanted to tell you guys today. What motivated me to come here, what actually gets me really excited about this place, and why you should probably come here too and check it out. Now, hope you guys liked this video. Let me know in the comments what you liked and what you didn't, but be nice, okay? I only accept positive comments. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, because only 10% of you, 20% maybe nowadays, have subscribed. Like, what the fuck, eh? You guys don't like me anymore? I don't like you too. Anyway, thanks for watching, and subscribe. Subscribe.
Thanks for watching and subscribe this channel.
Thanks for watching and subscribe the channel.